All right, let's just get right into it. We all get insurance for that peace of mind, right? That promise that if something goes wrong, we're covered. But how many times have you heard a story where that promise feels, well, completely broken? Today, we're going to decode the 5 secret rules, the quiet terms in your policy that literally decide if you get paid or not. Man, this one really hits home, doesn't it? It's that horrible sinking feeling. You've had a real loss. A matatu sideswipes your car, there's a fire in your business, your house floods, and the very people you paid to protect you just say, sorry, not covered. It feels like a scam, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just a game with a rulebook that most of us were never ever given.
So what's the deal? Why does this keep happening? Well, there's this massive canyon between what you thought you bought and what that policy document actually says. And that canyon, my friends, is where good claims go to die. So, in this explainer, we're building a bridge right over it.
Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning, way before anything has even gone wrong. The entire foundation of your policy is built on one thing: what you tell the insurer when you apply. And here's the twist: what you don't tell them can come back to bite you way harder. And this is the trap so many of us fall into. You do everything right, you know? You get the form, you answer every single question honestly, you sign it, you pay your money, and you think, poof, I'm covered. But here's the scary question. What if they forgot to ask something important? Well, it all comes down to this really heavy legal idea: utmost good faith. Fancy Latin name is uberrima fide. Now, this isn't like a normal contract. The rules are different. It puts all the pressure, all the responsibility right on your shoulders to tell them everything, and I mean everything, that might make them think twice about insuring you, even if they never ever ask you about it on the form. So, what in the world is a material fact? Well, it's the stuff you might think is no big deal. Like that small fire you had at your shop 5 years ago? Yeah, that. Or maybe you've had a health issue you've been ignoring. That counts. That extra room you built onto the house without involving the city council? Uh-huh. Even just changing your job to something a bit more hazardous. If you keep quiet about any of this, they have the right to just, poof, make your policy vanish. So here is the single most important takeaway. Forget silence is golden. When you're applying for insurance, silence can cost you absolutely everything. And it doesn't even matter if you forgot by accident. They can still cancel your policy. And yeah, they get to keep all the money you paid them. The rule is simple. When in doubt, just spill it out. Okay, so you've done your part. You told them everything. You're in the clear, right? Well, not so fast. Now we have to actually look at that document they sent you, because hidden deep inside all that legal jargon, there are these 2 lists. And trust me, these 2 lists are the real bosses of your policy. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got exclusions. These are the no entry signs, the locked gates, things the insurer will just never, ever pay for, period. Then, on the other side, you've got warranties. These are totally different. These are the promises you make to them. They're the rules you have to follow to keep your side of the bargain. Exclusions are usually pretty straightforward. Your car's tires getting old? That's just wear and tear. They won't cover that. Damage from riots or protests? Nope, probably not covered. Flooding? You usually have to pay extra for that. And of course, the obvious stuff. If you do something illegal, like driving drunk, yeah, you're on your own. No way they're paying. But warranties? Oh. This is where it gets really tricky. Your policy might say you must have a specific car tracker installed and working, or that only named drivers are allowed to use the vehicle. Now listen to this, because this is the part that gets everybody. If you break that promise, say your car alarm battery dies, your entire insurance cover is suspended right then and there, even if the breach had nothing to do with the loss. That is a brutal lesson to learn when you're trying to make a claim. All right, so you've done your homework. You told them everything, you've read the fine print, and then it happens. The thing you were insured against. The fire, the accident, the theft. This is the moment of truth. This is where the rubber meets the road. And all these rules suddenly become very, very real. Let me paint you a picture. A huge storm hits, cracks a few tiles on your roof. Over the next few weeks, water seeps in. Then, one day, bam, the whole ceiling caves in. You file a claim. Obvious, right? The storm did it. But then you get the letter, claim denied. And you're just sitting there thinking, how? How is that even possible? The answer is a tricky little term, proximate cause. See, insurers don't really care about what started the problem. They're like detectives looking for the main culprit, the dominant, most powerful cause in that chain of events.
And that main culprit has to be something that's actually covered by your policy.
So let's trace the evidence. 1. The storm cracks the roof. 2. Water leaks in for weeks. 3. That water leads to rot and mold. 4. The ceiling collapses because of the mold. So the investigator says, aha, the proximate cause wasn't the storm, it was the mold. And if your policy has a little line in the exclusions list that says, no coverage for mold, you're out of luck. Oh, and this one makes people furious. Your car, your baby, you saved up, you paid 2 million shillings for it. Then it gets written off in an accident, and the insurance company comes back and offers you 1.2 million. It feels like a slap in the face. You're thinking, you're trying to rip me off.
But this is all because of another big word: indemnity. And indemnity has one simple goal: to put you back where you were 1 second before the accident happened. Not to make you richer, not to buy you a brand new car, just to restore you to the exact same financial spot. So that 2 million shillings you paid 3 years ago, I'm sorry to say, but it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. What matters is, what could you have sold that 3-year-old car for on the day of the crash? That's the market value. And that's what they pay. They insure the value of the thing you lost, not the money you spent on it. Big, big difference.
So you've been through it all. The claim is approved, the money hits your account, you breathe a huge sigh of relief. The end, right? Story's over? Not quite. There's often one last, surprising little twist in the tale. And that twist is called subrogation. It's a simple idea, really. Once the insurance company pays your claim, they get to literally step into your shoes. They now own your legal right to go after the person who caused the damage in the first place and get their money back. Let's go back to that Matatu accident. Your insurance pays to fix your car. Great. Now, you can't also turn around and sue the Matatu company for the same repairs, right? You'd be getting paid twice. So since you can't sue them, your insurance company takes over that right. They'll go to court, probably using your name, to force the Matatu owner to pay them back for what they spent on you. So, let's wrap this all up. Here's your new 5-point checklist to make sure you're in control. Number 1, disclose. Just tell them everything. 2, review. Actually read those exclusion and warranty lists. 3, understand cause. Remember, it's the dominant cause that matters. 4, value correctly. It's about market value now, not what you paid. And 5, cooperate. If they paid you, you've got to help them get their money back. You master these 5 things, and suddenly, you're the one holding the cards. Look, insurance isn't just a product you buy. It's a game with a very specific set of rules. And for too long, only one side really knew how to play. That broken promise feeling happens when we don't know the rules. But now you do. You know the moves. So the only question left is, are you ready to play?